thank you. This is George Rafidi. Welcome to another edition of our video story time. Uh, Today, we're going to talk about HubSpot. And HubSpot means, different things to different people. Some companies use it for their email, for their landing pages, for their sales support, customer service. And we have had the opportunity to bring on a strategic partner, and he's here with us today, Jonathan Snavely, who is a consultant, an expert professional of all things HubSpot. He's the best that I've ever met so far, and we've been lucky enough to have him with implement some things for a client of ours, and we're doing more and more things with him. So, Jonathan, officially welcome to the Tell Your Story team, even though we've been working together for a year.
Yeah, George. Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a fun journey so far, and as HubSpot continues to grow, so will I'm sure your client needs as well.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your background and your history with HubSpot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I've been in the HubSpot ecosystem for about 10 years, going on 10 years. I got introduced to HubSpot. Yeah, I was looking for a way to schedule out my Google Mail. Like I'm working in sales. I didn't want this email to go out at 4 or 5 in the morning. I did a search. I found this tool called Sidekick, and I'm like, what is this? Well, it integrated with Gmail. Found out that that was a HubSpot product, and then they said, hey, we also do pop-ups. Would you like to add a pop-up to your website? So I got introduced to HubSpot using their freemium model, where hey, like come in, get this free extension, this free tool, and then from there started getting nurtured through their emails and finding out, oh, this is a back then really primarily a marketing automation platform. So as I moved on to my next company, decided, hey, let's bring in HubSpot as well, and was a customer of HubSpot for almost 7 years through their marketing automation platform, the CRM, their CMS hosting websites there as well, and now they have Service Hub and all these other hubs as well. But that's really how I got started. And for the last 3.5 years, I guess, wow, yeah, it's coming up on 4 years, full time HubSpot all day, every day.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I guess we've been using or have known about HubSpot for probably just as long, but maybe a little longer actually. We saw their director of business development come in and speak at a business marketing association conference, and we took a deep dive for about a year. And with a small agency and other client pressures and things and expensive, we kind of let that fall off, sadly, but it's always been on the top of my mind. And with this particular startup client, we decided we wanted to get back into the game, both as a company implementing it for a client, but also becoming a HubSpot agency. And so that's obviously when we met. And so it's been around a long time. A lot of people know it. It's used for different things. What gets me most excited about the evolution of HubSpot is that it's way more than when you and I first heard about it. Whether it was just email or landing pages. And as an agency, it gets me really excited to be able to help other parts of the organization, big organizations, not just marketing, but sales, customer service, maybe even HR and other things. Can you talk about all the tentacles that HubSpot has?
Yeah, I think what's really unique about like HubSpot as a whole, and again, I'm saying hubs, which viewers may not even like, what's he talking about? Hubs, what is this? And really the way to think about HubSpot is, you have your central database and then these spokes that are coming off of it. So, hey, marketing works in this area, sales works in this area, customer success, ticketing works in this area, and then you have your content team. So everybody has their own spaces that are inside the HubSpot ecosystem. And the the major benefit is that when they decided to bring on Service Hub, they didn't go out and acquire an existing company and then try to make it work inside the HubSpot ecosystem. Like their team is building it with the entire ecosystem in mind. So as these new opportunities come into play, it's not cobbled together with, oh, okay, we need to make this work. And then it breaks all the time because that system changed. So I think it's really important just to think about is that you can use all of the hubs, you can use the entire tool, or you can just use one component and integrate it, A great example would be, hey, I want to use HubSpot for strictly marketing automation, but I have another CRM. I have Salesforce, Dynamics, NetSuite, whatever it is. Great. It plays very well with that integration. So, hey, marketing lives in HubSpot. The rest of the team lives in another system. And then we integrate and make sure the systems are talking to each other. And we can do that with all the hubs. You can purchase just individual ones or do it as a whole.
Yeah. And what has excited me about working with someone like you is that you're not just this HubSpot geek. You get marketing, you get marketing communications, and what we're trying to do with HubSpot from the marketing side. Um, for instance, helping us decide when's the best time to schedule an email and helping us A/B test, helping us with different subject lines and preview lines and things like that. So that makes me really excited to bring that offering in much more depth than we had before as a boutique agency.
Yeah, the part that I probably missed when you mentioned the background is I think what makes me so successful in working with our clients is my marketing and my sales background and actually using the tool. So not only am I consulting on the best way to achieve this, okay, you're coming, hey, we really want to measure X, Y, and Z. A good example is, when I was still, in that corporate setting, as a, overseeing marketing and sales, it's like we need to be able to track our marketing attribution. So we're spending $10,000 a month on Google Ads. Like, what are we actually winning deals? The traditional metrics for that type were how many clicks are we getting? How many conversions are we seeing? But we never got to the end of, is it generating revenue? So my initial intent, because I was in the marketing and sales world, I wanted to use HubSpot to prove marketing's value, right? So, hey, like we're spending X amount on Google ads this month, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads. They're not only resulting in deals created, but they're also closed won deals. And then what about those closed lost deals? Well, what keywords and what ads, are attributed to lost deals? Well, if we're starting to see trends, let's remove them. So we're optimizing our paid spend
Yeah,
based on what we're seeing the full journey in one platform.
yeah. And I get excited hearing you say that, but it also gets me scared because we've barely scratched the surface with what we're doing together, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So okay. Well, good. Now, from a sales perspective, the deals, the stages. I mean, that's like just some really powerful things, and it's actually grown to be, the premier sales automation, customer relations, CRM platform, whatever you want to call it, that's out there, right?
Absolutely. I think that what appeals to most people when they're evaluating what their CRM or whatever what their platform, like, hey, so let's kind of narrow it into the CRM, so the sales side, right? So
Yeah.
when they're evaluating tools, and it's based off of their team's experience as well, is they need something that's easy to use. It's an easy interface, so that HubSpot appeals to a lot of people because it is easy to use, visually appealing. I can find where I need to be. You now have your sales workspace where you can go in and I can see these are all my prospects. These are all my opportunities. These are the meetings that I have coming up today. And take that from not only a rep's perspective, but then a manager's perspective to be able to see all the reps, to see the big picture, right? And then to be able to
Right.
run that up to the executive team as well. So you can have all these different levels of views of what you're seeing. Um, there's also a downside to that as well, is that there's a common misconception that because it's so easy to use, it's so easy to set up, right? And I think that, if you were, maybe a startup, as you mentioned, and I want to come back to that because there's a piece about startups and HubSpot's relationship too that's interesting. But, maybe you're just starting off and you only have one sales pipeline. Maybe you only have one sales rep. And in that case, sure, like you can get in there out of the box and just use it. However, what I find is that you still need to customize it for your business, for your process. And that's where you would then partner with us to be able to, hey, let's get you set up. Let's get it optimized for your process, how you want to use it. And then from there, once it's set up, yeah, you're right. Like it's pretty easy to use then. But I think the common misconception is that, hey, I can use this out of the box. Everything's going to be set up and ready to go.
right.
And generally speaking, that's true. But if you already have an existing system in place, you want to be able to at least align that sales process and build it in HubSpot so that it still makes sense for users as they come in.
Right, right. Yeah, and that is through our experience with you, just setting up those processes and asking the right questions of
Right.
how we want to use this, and then even assigning value to these things. As things go down the pipeline is pretty amazing to see, and I know that the clients we're working with are really excited about when we have a question or a tweak or something we're going to change, we're able to do that. And HubSpot in general is easy to use and manipulate, but I feel better with someone like you and tell your story in my corner. So
That's another
that,
problem. A lot of times, we'll get the client said, "Hey, we just want you to do the implementation, get it up and running for us, and then we'll be good." I understand that that's what, a lot of people have that belief, but it's always good to keep somebody on like us on the monthly, maintenance, right? Like, you're not going to go out, and again, if you're, you know, buying an expensive vehicle, right? Like, are you just going to be in your garage? If I bought a $200,000 sports car, am I going to be in there tinkering with, the timing and doing a lot of the, no, I'm going to take it to the dealership and
yeah,
have them
yeah,
take care of it so it's done correctly. And that's
right,
where, hey, you need another value added to a drop down menu. Sure, you can go in and make that change. However, what are the implications of that change? What does it impact? What workflows could that trigger? Those are
right,
sometimes the things that get missed. And that's why partnering with somebody, like us really, allows you to have somebody that you can reach out to with that type of question, get a quick response, get a quick fix that understands your entire system, not just that one field that you need to have updated.
yeah, yeah. Well, this is great. From a high level, Tell Your Story's always been an integrated marketing communications firm. We've been around 18 years. Very big emphasis in content development, story development, and amplifying that through traditional, ever evolving media, big chunk in social media. And yeah, we did emails and we did landing pages and we do a good amount of paid advertising, but taking a deep dive in marketing automation and moving that into sales automation and doing the things that need to be done to make email more impactful is really exciting to us to take to our existing clients and really see this as an opportunity to talk to new clients that may want to come in because they say, "Oh, this is a HubSpot agency," which we're not afraid to say now that we are a HubSpot agency. But wow, they could do all these other things. They could help us with our design of our emails, our writing, and oh yeah, this should go on a blog and post here. So I'm really seeing this as a very integrated part of our entire marketing mix, and working with you has been seamless to make that happen. If anyone wants more information, please reach out. We'll be happy to get on a call like this and tell you more about what we're all about.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that, I know we've been talking a little bit more about like net new implementations, but I would say that, the majority of what people need is they already have HubSpot, and it's that you just kind of alluded to this. Like we didn't even, we're not even using, we're only using 20% of the tools in HubSpot, right? Like we don't even know the full capability. So a lot of
Yeah,
times when we get brought in, it's not always a net new implementation. It's like, hey, we have HubSpot. You know, the whoever set it up, they left or we're no longer working with them. We can't figure out how things work. So having someone like us come in, let's do an audit the portal, provide some recommendations, understand your goals. And a lot of times it's just about going back to the foundation and just saying, hey, like I know you want to get this, and it's usually reporting related, right? It's like, hey, I can't figure out how to build this report. Well, it's the data points aren't there. You're not collecting those, or they're being
yeah,
collected in the wrong area. So having someone in do an audit and then recommendations, and then from there optimize it and get you up and running.
yeah,
A lot of that like cleanup is the majority of what I'm seeing. It's a matter we have it, we just aren't using it. Can you tell us, give your recommendations how to use it better?
yeah. How to optimize, how to maximize. Yeah. Um, hey, let me switch subjects a little bit. I know you've been to their annual
Oh
conference,
yeah.
Inbound. I've never been. Would love to go, and I know it's coming up actually at some point. For someone like me, for any one of our clients, or anyone out there in marketing land who wants to go to inbound and have made their decision yet, what's your take on that conference?
Yeah, so Inbound this year, it's interesting. It's in their major competitor's back door, or or right in their hometown of San Francisco. So traditionally, Inbound has always been in Boston, where their corporate headquarters is located. And this is the first year they're moving it to San Francisco. So if you're looking to get out to the, again, I'm on the East Coast, so it's very convenient for me to get to Boston. However, being on the West Coast, a little bit more, challenging for me. But the value that I see it all any conference you go to, like, what are you looking to get out of it? So let's speak about customers. So let's talk about users. For a user, so even going back, I initially went to Inbound as a customer, and I
Yeah.
saw a lot more value as a customer because being in this role, like, I'm up to speed on all the updates that are happening. And just last year, HubSpot rolled out 1,500 updates to their platform. So trying to keep up with that as a customer of HubSpot, like, it's hard.
1,500.
1,500 updates
Yeah.
across the ecosystems, across all their hubs, right? So going there as a user, I'm like going there and I'm finding out, oh, I didn't realize that was a feature. I didn't realize I wasn't using that tool. And then you're selecting your track. Like, what are you looking for? Are you leadership? Are you marketing? Are you sales? And so, I don't know if thousands is an exaggeration, but definitely hundreds of different breakout sessions that are happening while you're there for what your specific need is. So if you're really into marketing, then you can select that track, see all the breakout sessions are there, but they also have some really great keynote speakers. I mean, my first conference, Inbound, Gary Vee was a keynote. I've seen Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, I've seen again. So their keynotes are also really good as well. They have some
Yeah.
awesome fun activities in the evening with concerts and also some comedians. So I think if you're looking at it from an agency side, are you going there to also learn about what new tools and features? Are you looking there to maybe find some prospects? The trade show floor is large and expansive, so you're going to have all the vendors that are there that integrate with HubSpot. So all these tools and integrations that you may be looking to do, they'll be there, so you can talk to them and find out. Like, as an example, LinkedIn is usually a big sponsor of the conference.
Yeah.
They have their own area set up, and you can talk to them about ads and integrating with HubSpot. How can you optimize that? So definitely well worth it,
Yeah.
depending on what your goal is.
So are we going this year? We didn't even really talk about it. Yeah.
We've got it. It's in September, so I'm sure tickets are still available, but they do a very, like, a tiered system of
Yeah.
tickets. So
Okay.
you got to find it. We definitely need to figure out if we're going or not here pretty quickly.
Let's talk about it. And if you're from HubSpot, send Jonathan and I a code, and we will amplify this video as much as you want us to
No,
for a nice
absolutely.
nice
I,
code. Um, yeah. So you know, if you have HubSpot, if you're in marketing, if you're in sales and your customer service, even if you're not in marketing and you have a relationship with marketing, and you think you need some help, this is my commercial. Give us a call, because I found this guy, Jonathan here, and we've been able to elevate what we do as an agency, and combined with everything else we do as an agency, we'd love to help tell your story through traditional, through ever evolving, through HubSpot. Let's maximize your investment together. That's my 30-second pitch. Jonathan, what's your 30-second pitch?
I mean, I would say, and I'm going to come back to the startups. So HubSpot does have a special. So if you go onto their website, and a lot of people they'll start there first. Let me go to HubSpot's website and get some pricing information.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be overwhelming. It's like, whoa. The thing about startups is they have a special program for startups. So if you are a startup, you can get 75% off their rack rates. And it's a special program. It lasts for a few years. And really, HubSpot had started this several years ago because they want to grow with you. They know that as a startup, and if you are successful, you're going to scale, and you're going to then need, higher levels of access and more users. So I just wanted to call that piece out.
Yeah.
I think the other piece of that is that, I mean, if you have HubSpot, or you're considering HubSpot, a phone call doesn't hurt anything, right? Like, hey, like have a phone call, and just get
Yeah,
on a call and talk through, see if we're a good fit. And I'm also very transparent if I'm not the right fit too. There's times where we'll get on calls. HubSpot may not be the right platform for you if you're deciding on, hey, we're thinking about it, we don't know. So that call can also, help you decide if HubSpot is a good choice. And again, I'm not looking to, I know, Jordan, like this is the commercial, but like it's really important to know, like, yeah, HubSpot isn't going to get you what you need. That's not the right tool. I think of like people that are using like an ERP system for inventory and some other solutions. Like, yeah, like HubSpot's not an ERP. It's not a great. You can integrate it with some great ERP. So I think that those, you know, call it that no risk call of just hopping on a call and have a discussion. What it
exactly.
really doesn't hurt anything. There's no commitment, just to talk like we're talking today. Like, tell me a little bit about what you're using, what your goals are. We can then provide, either the recommendation of HubSpot or maybe there's another system out there that may be a better fit.
Well, that's great. Well, there you have it. Big headline is that Tell Your Story is now a HubSpot agency. Our consultant partner, teammate Jonathan Snavely, and myself would love to get on a call with you to talk more about it and just learn about what your needs are, whether it's from a marketing standpoint, from a sales standpoint. It's a great tool. It's been around a while, but we're taking a deep dive into it now, and you should too. So, Jonathan, thanks for spending some time with me today on Story Time, and let's see if we can't help some good people with their HubSpot journey.
Sounds great. Thanks, George. I appreciate
Great.
you having me on.
Thanks, Jonathan.